Hello all. Today in this video I'll be discussing about very important IUPAC rules, exceptions and also few exceptional compounds which you haven't seen anywhere in any video. So I'll be discussing about bicyclic compounds, spiral compounds, and then there is this very important tricyclic compounds, their nomenclature with few examples. At the end of the video I've covered few previous entrance exam bits, that is from CSIR and also SET. So please do watch the video till the end, and also note that I've skipped the basic part of IUPAC nomenclature because you can just get this basic part from any intermediate book. Coming to the topic, there is this basic rule, that is longest chain rule. I think most of you might know this, but I'll just give a brief explanation. So this longest chain rule is given to this alkyl chains only. So according to this longest chain rule, the numbering to the parent chain is given in such a way that the parent chain gets the more number of carbons. Okay, so this alkyl chain can be written in, the numbering to this alkyl chain can be given in two ways, that is this way 1 and way 2. So in way 1, as you could see here, after giving the numbering to the parent chain, we got 6 carbons to the parent chain, and in second way, after giving the numbering to the parent chain, we got 7 carbons to it. So out of these two, the second one is the correct one because the parent chain has got the more number of carbons, and there are these two substituents at second position and fourth position. At second position there is methyl, and at fourth position there is ethyl, 2 carbons. So the IUPAC nomenclature can be written like this. It can be written in both ways, guys, that is 2-methyl 4-ethyl heptane. As you could see, the parent chain has 7 number of carbons, and it can also be written as 4-ethyl 2-methyl heptane. Which one is correct? So IUPAC nomenclature follows this alphabetical order. So as E comes first, so this is the right answer. 4-ethyl 2-methyl heptane is the correct answer. Okay, coming to the second rule, that is substituent rule. I'll just roll it down. Yeah, so this is the substituent rule. So to this alkyl group, the numbering to this alkyl group can be given in two ways, way 1 and way 2. So you should see that in both the ways the parent chain has 5 carbons only, but which one should be considered? Here applies this substituent rule. According to this substituent rule, the carbon having more number of substituents should get the least number. So that is, just consider this first carbon here and also the first carbon in second way. So both the carbons are free from substituents. Okay, so next we'll consider the second carbons in both the ways. So here the second carbon is free from substituents, but in this case the second carbon is not free from substituents. It has 2 methyl groups. As you could see here, these are 2 methyl groups. It has 2 methyl groups. Okay, these are the 2 methyl groups. So the numbering should be given in this way only. So as you could see here, the second carbon has 2 substituents. So the numbering that is this IUPAC nomenclature can be given in both ways, that is 2,2 dimethyl, because the substituents are at second position. So 2,2 dimethyl, and at third position there is this ethyl group. So 2,2 dimethyl 3-ethyl, and the number of carbons are 5. So it is pentane, 2,2 dimethyl 3-ethyl pentane. But which one should be given the first preference? As we know that IUPAC nomenclature should be given in alphabetical order. So D comes first. So this is the correct answer. So 2,2 dimethyl 3-ethyl pentane is the right answer. This is another classic example of substituent rule, guys. So this is the alkyl chain. The numbering to this alkyl chain can be given in two ways. This is way 1 and way 2. So in way 1, as you could see here, the parent chain, the numbering to this parent chain is given in such a way that the carbons having substituents are preferred. Okay, and in coming to the second way, the carbons without substituents are also considered for parent chain, which is not right. So this is the correct way to give the numbering to the parent chain when there are substituents, and the IUPAC nomenclature for this way can be written in these two ways. As I've told you before, the nomenclature is written in alphabetical order as E comes first, 3-ethyl 2,4,5 trimethyl hexane. So that is the way you write for nomenclature. What should we do when there is a fight between longest chain rule and substituent rule? Which one should be given more preference? Okay, let's consider this example, this alkyl chain. So as usual, the numbering to this alkyl chain can be given in two ways. This is 1 and this is 2. In the first way, the numbering is given according to this LCR, that is longest chain rule, and in the second way, the numbering is given according to the substituent rule. So which one should be considered? So you have to note that if there is alkyl substituent, guys, only if there is alkyl substituent, then LCR is greater than SR, that is LCR is nothing but longest chain rule is greater than substituent rule. So if there is this alkyl substituent, longest chain rule should be given more preference than this substituent rule. Okay, and the nomenclature as you could see here, this is 4 tertiary butyl heptane, because this group is called as tertiary butyl group. So as this is located at 4th position, 4 tertiary butyl heptane. Okay, as we have discussed before, if there is a competition between longest chain rule and alkyl substituent rule, we should consider longest chain rule than this alkyl substituent rule. But there is this very important exception. If there is this alkyl substituent, alkene substituent and alkyne substituent, then longest chain rule should not be considered, guys. Okay, so let's see an example. Okay, consider this alkyl chain. This alkyl chain, the numbering to this alkyl chain can be given in two ways. This is 1 and this is 2. So in the first way, the numbering is given according to LCR. Okay, in the second way, the numbering is given according to this substituent rule, that is this alkene group is given more preference. So as I have told you, LCR is not considered when there is alkene or alkyne group. So this is considered, the numbering is given according to this substituent only. As you could see here, this there are this 2 methyl substituents at 2nd position and 4th position. So the IUPAC nomenclature can be given as, the IUPAC name is 2,4 dimethyl and 5-propyl. As you could see here, this is propyl group, and also there are 7 carbons. So hept, at 5th position there is ene group, so hept 5-ene. So this is the nomenclature that has to be given when there is an alkene substituent. Okay, this is an important exception, guys. And rules if there is one functional group. So if there is functional group, it is very simple, guys. The numbering should be given according to that functional group only. No LCR, no SR, that is substituent rule, nothing should be followed over here. Only this substituent, that is functional group substituent, should be given more preference. Okay, this alkyl group, this alkyl chain can be written in two ways. The numbering is given in two ways. This is 1 and this is 2. In the first way, the numbering is given according to LCR, as I have told you. If there is any functional group, LCR should not be considered. And in second case, the functional group is given preference. So from here, the numbering has been given. So this is the substituent, as you could see here, this is a substituent at 2nd position, and the nomenclature is 2-ethyl. At 2nd position, there is this ethyl group, 2-ethyl pent 5 carbons. At 1st position, there is alcohol, so 1-ol. So this is how you should write this nomenclature when there is one functional group. As I have told you before, if there is a functional group, then longest chain rule and substituent rule are just neglected. So these are few examples. You could just pause the video. These 2 examples, you could just pause the video and note down, and I'll just roll it down. There is this another example which can be written in 3 ways. Okay, this alkyl chain. So according this alkyl chain, I have written in 3 ways. This is 1, 2 and 3. In the first way, I have just followed LCR. So as I have told you, LCR does not vary when there is a functional group. In second case, I have given this numbering in such a way that the parent chain has 4 carbons only. Okay, the numbering is correct. That is, I have given the numbering according to this functional group only. But the parent chain has 4 carbons only. But in the third case, I have given this numbering in such a way that the parent chain has 5 carbons. So which one should be considered? The parent chain having more number of carbons should be considered, guys. So this is the correct one and this is the wrong one. And I have given this nomenclature, IUPAC name below it. So please note down. And here comes the order of priority. Order of priority for functional groups. So this is the functional group priority. I'll just tell you a simple trick to remember this functional group trick, functional groups. As you could see here, this is a table. This is the order of priority of functional group. I've just divided this into a table into 5 columns. This is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the first column, all the groups belong to acid family only. So at any cost, you should remember these 2 groups, acid and sulfur groups. And in the below 3, this is common. So CO, CO, CO is common, guys. So you should remember only this R, X and N. Okay, acid, sulfur, R, X, N. That's it. So you have just completed this first column. And coming to the second column, just remember this SIAC, SIAK, SIAC. So what does SIAC mean? For C, cyano, for I, isocyano, for A, it is aldehyde, and for K, it is ketone. So just remember for second column, it is SIAC, SIAK. That's it. Coming to this third column is remembered as OSNO, guys. OSNO, okay. The first O is with hydrogen and the last O is with alkyl group, that is R, and S is with hydrogen and N is amine, that is NH2. So this is how you remember this third column, that is OSNO. And coming to the fourth column can be remembered as see this alkyne group. This alkyne group is guarded with alkene and azo group. This is azo group, guys, not nitrogen group. So just remember that this alkyne group is guarded first with alkene and then azo group. First comes alkene and then alkyne and then azo group, guys. So that is how you remember this fourth column. And coming to this fifth column, this fifth one, it's easy to remember because you just have this 3. So first is NO2 and then NO and then comes halogen. In halogen groups, the preference is given according to the alphabetical order. For example, like the order is like for B for bromine. So first comes bromine, and C for chlorine, F for fluorine, I for iodine. So I know this sounds crazy, but it's easy to remember in a smart way than in a complicated way. So it's better to be smart and easy. So this is how I remember this priority order. If you have any other smart ways also, you could remember in that way, guys. Okay, coming to this few examples, I'll just roll it down. So this alkyl group can be, the numbering to this alkyl group can be given, alkyl chain can be given in 2 ways. As you could see here, this is 1 and this is 2. In the first case, the numbering is given according to this alkene group, and in the second case, the numbering is given according to this alkyne group, guys. So I'll tell you how to give the numbering. Okay, firstly, just see this the first carbon. Just neglect this alkene group or alkyne group, whatever it is. Just see the first carbon. Okay, in the first case, the first carbon, the preference to the first carbon is given to this CH3 only. Okay, in the CH3 without any substituent. Okay, in the second case, the numbering, the first preference is given to this alkyne carbon. So which one should be given preference? Alkyne is more than this alkyl group, guys. So the number, even though this alkene group is alkene is greater than alkyne, the numbering should be given according to the first carbon. We should just compare these first carbons only. This side the first carbon is alkyne and this side the first carbon is alkyl. So the first preference is given to alkyne only, guys. So just remember that this is very good example, and this second way is the correct one. Okay, and the IUPAC nomenclature is given as below. As the number of carbons are 5, so 5 pent 3 at third position there is ene, so pent 3 ene 1 ion. Okay, coming to the another example, next example. This is also a similar example, guys. So in the first way, the first preference is given to alkyl group rather than alkene group. So in the second way, the first preference is given to alkene rather than alkyl, which is correct. So just follow this rule only. So this is correct and this is wrong, guys, and the IUPAC nomenclature is given below. So coming to this third example, in this third example there is a competition between this alkene, because this side the first carbon is alkene carbon and this side the carbon is alkyne carbon. So which one should be given preference? As we have discussed before in the IUPAC priority table, alkene is greater than alkyne. So now you could prefer alkene over alkyne, guys. So let's see this first way. In this first way, the numbering is given from alkyne, which is not correct, because alkene is greater than alkyne. Sorry for my writing. Okay, just remember that alkene is we just remembered that alkene is greater than alkyne. So in this case alkyne is given more preference than alkene, so which is wrong. And in the second case, alkene is given more preference. The first preference is given to alkene than alkyne, so which is correct. And the IUPAC nomenclature is given below. Okay, see the IUPAC nomenclature. So if there is this halogen group, if there is more than one halogen group, then the numbering is given according to the alphabetical order. Okay, so as I have told you before in that priority table, so B for bromine, C for chlorine. Okay, so first comes bromine, so the numbering should be given according to the bromine. So in the first case, the numbering is given according to chlorine, so this is wrong. And in the second case, the numbering is given according to bromine, so this is correct. And this is the IUPAC nomenclature. Okay, so these are few examples from order of priority table, guys. So you could just pause the video and note down the examples and practice. Okay, so there is this very important example. As we have discussed before, the alkene group should be given more preference than the alkyl group. So the numbering should be given according to the alkene group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the correct way to give the numbering if there is an alkene group, and this is not the correct way. So I'll just roll it down for more examples. Yeah, as you could see here, this cyclohexane has two substituents. One is ethyl and one is methyl. So which one should be given more preference? The numbering should be given from ethyl only. So according to substituent rule, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as you could see here, in this case, both the substituents are, this is ethyl and this is dimethyl. So which one should be given more preference? In the first case, as you could see here, ethyl group has been given preference, and in the second case, this 2-methyl, that is dimethyl group, is given preference, because according to this substituent rules, carbon which has more number of substituents, no matter how many carbons, more number of substituents should be given more preference. Okay, so at this carbon, in the second way, at this carbon there are 4 substituents, and in this first way, at this carbon there are only 3 substituents. So this should not be given the preference, and this should be given the preference. So that is how it is. And sorry, I'll just roll it down, and these are few other examples.